Okay, so one of my clients asked me to put together a strong class using a foam roller and a ball. So here it is. You can do the exercises without either of those bits of equipment, but if you've got them, all the much the better. So as always, please only work within your limits, never force a movement, and be very, very careful. This really is a class that is only designed for those of you who've been doing Pilates with me for quite a long time. So if that's not you, I would recommend that you did one of the more intermediate classes that I have online already. Okay, so here we go. We are going to start, as always, just checking in with your postures. So let's stand, feet hip width apart. There we go. So that means ankles directly underneath the hip joints. Your hips aren't here, they're here. Now, imagine you've got a little blueberry underneath the arch of your foot and splay your toes a little bit so that you're firmly grounded on the floor. It's amazing how many people will tip towards the outside or the inside of their feet just when they're simply standing. And then come up to your knees. Just unlock those knees and come up to your hips. We're going to tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards until we reach neutral spine. This is a class designed for those of you who've done Pilates with me before, so you know where your neutral spine is. Now lift your rib cage. Start growing taller. Now let's incorporate breathing. So breathe very, very deeply in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Let's get that rib cage flaring out. And let it retract back in again as you exhale. Breathing in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Feel all those muscles begin to release. It's amazing just how simply by deep breathing you can release tension out of your muscles. Now I want you to bring your hands up to your shoulders this time. And breathe in and also open the chest out. So breathe in, open out. And then breathe in rather, and then as you breathe out, fall forwards. Breathe in, open out. Exhale. Release. Now, let's continue to do those deep breaths in and out. Very hard for me to do that whilst I'm talking at the same time, but you're going to continue with those deep breaths whilst you're rotating those shoulders. Releasing any tension that you might have out of those shoulders. And then back around the other way. That's it. Get that movement going really big. So extend, look up, release down. Important before we start any class to just to check in with our bodies, feeling if there's any kind of restriction. Now, keeping your elbows on your shoulders, rotate around and then back, and then rotate around the other side and back, and again. Too close to the back wall there. That's it, and stop. Now you're going to get your head to rotate all the way around. A lot of people I know have a lot of tension in their neck and shoulders at the moment. Working from home, you don't have possibly as good a setup as you might do at in the office with regards to position of your chair and your desk. I've been doing a lot of decorating, so my shoulders are tight. So you let your head drop over through one side, bring your hand over and just let your head drop down. This arm needs to be pulled down by gravity. That's it. And then release, and then the other side, up and over, and get ready. Your class is now beginning. Now I am going to use a set of weights. You can use tins at home. If you haven't got a set of weights, you can do all of these exercises without weights, but I want to give my arms a little bit of an extra workout. We're going to start by doing some wide squats. Open out those chest. Bring your arms up, palms facing up towards the ceiling. We're going to work those legs hard. So squat down, deep squats, and you're going to make sure that your feet, you've got your weight evenly placed on the foot. So weight is not pushing to the inside of the foot, and you bounce 1. Little circles with the hands. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Internally rotate the hands 90 degrees, lift one heel up and push. 1, 2, 3. Rotate those hands another 90 degrees, heel goes down, other heel comes up and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Both toes. Rotate the hands outwards and push back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Heels go down. Squat all the way down, push all the way up and open out. Repeat that movement. Down, 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 down. Go deep. Hands together and push up. Really reach and stretch down. And push up. And last time down. Stay there. We're going to repeat. 1, 2, 3. Keep up the pace. 4. Lost count now. 1, heel comes up. Rotate the hands. Should be beginning to feel those legs burning a little bit by now. Other foot. Rotate the hands. And then again, both feet push back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Heels go down. Going to go all the way down this time. And put your hands on the inside of your knees. And just push those knees out, opening the hips out whilst you're squatting down there. Sumo squat, not particularly attractive, but really good for opening those hips up. Oh, legs burn. Let's stand yourselves up. Oh. And then peel all the way back up again. Right, now we're going to do a little bit of lunge work. We're going to use the foam roller for this. I'm just going to push my mat slightly out of the way. Actually, I'm going to go on the mat. So replacing everything. 2 options. You either have the foam roller in front of you like this, hop back and you lunge down like this, or you do what I'm going to do. You're going to use the foam roller to lunge backwards. We're going to do 8 on one leg and 8 on the other. So hands up and lunge down. There you go. And then stand yourself back up again. And 2. Down. Make sure that knee stays tracking over your ankle as much as you possibly can. And 3. Down. That's it. Stand back up. And 4. Stand back up. This is really going to work your legs hard and deep. Last one. And 6. So I'm going to do 6 on one side and then 6 on the other. Just hold it there. Get a big stretch. I'm going to put my toes down, arms out wide, stretching out that hip flexor. Left knee is forwards. I'm actually on my toes. The foam roller is only there just for a gentle rest, and you're going to reach over towards your left hand side and get a big stretch in that hip flexor. Yeah, you got it. Right, now you've got to stand back up again. Leg, shake it out. I'm going to swap over and do exactly the same on the right hand side this time. So right foot forwards, left toes on the foam roller. There we go, off we go. 6 lunges, down, big, deep, push, stand back up again. And 2, down, and stand back up. Really go to the depths or the limit of your depths. So go as far down as you possibly can. So you work deep into that glute, deep into the quad muscle. And because you're on an unstable surface, you're having to dig a little bit deeper with regards to balance. I've lost count now. I'm good at losing count, as you well know. And 5. That's it. Last one. 6, I'm going to stay down there this time so I can get that hip flexor all stretched out. So toes tuck under. If your foot is on the foam roller, you can stay on there or come off the foam roller. This is just stretching out. Tighter on this side for me. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, lean over towards your right hand side this time. So towards your leg at the front. Oh, Legs are burning. And then come all the way back up again. Shake those legs out. Okay, we're going to use the foam roller now to do a little bit of back strengthening work. So carefully bend down, pick up the foam roller, and I want it to go behind you first of all. You're going to squeeze both ends of the foam roller really, really hard. Your feet need to be wider than mat width, and tuck your toes. Turn your toes in a little bit, not a lot, just a tiny bit. Open that chest out. Now, you can imagine, push the foam roller back behind you and squeeze. So you feel engagement of your upper arm muscles before you begin. Glance, look up towards the ceiling, chin up, breathe in. As you breathe out, squat down, looking in front of you, and then push the foam roller up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to do it again. A little bit faster. Push up the foam roller as high as you can go. And then push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep it up there. Hinge those hips over and stand back up again. You've got to be very careful when you do this, especially with those backs. Squeeze your abdominals. Engage those core muscles so that they are fully supporting your spine. And over. That's it. And then back up again. Release the foam roller around to the front this time. Foam roller comes up above your head. Open your chest out. We're going to repeat that movement, but this time the foam roller is up above your head. Now you've got to imagine that you don't want to see the foam roller in your peripheral vision at all. So it needs to be behind you. Squat down. Knees stay over ankles. Length in that spine, please. Now push the foam roller back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Push it back as far as you can go, and then 8 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Brace those abdominals, hinging over. You should be feeling your back muscles working hard by this stage. And then back up. I'm going to 8 tomorrow. I like that though. I like a bit of a post-exercise ache. Your back is going to want to release now. So gently come all the way down. Bend your knees. Place the foam roller gently down onto the floor. Hands go on top of the foam roller and straighten your legs. That's it. Now breathe in, and then as you breathe out, bend your elbows. Let your head collapse down towards the foam roller. Let gravity pull you. Your legs are still wide. We're going to do a regular roll up in a minute. Roll down, roll. That's it. Head is loose. Breathe in. And then peel yourselves all the way back up again. 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. Now, let's get down onto the mat. So I would like the foam roller to stay, please, at the end of your mats. And you're going to stand in front of it. Let's just take a moment to catch your breath and think about your posture again. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Drop your chin to your chest, rolling down. So let your forehead lead, followed by your sternum, your breastbone that is. Now, let gravity pull you down. Imagine you're peeling your back off a wall. It's peeling off with Velcro. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Your legs should be nice and warm by now. Hands go onto the foam roller. Bend those elbows again. That's it. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, just go down a little bit further. If you're minus the foam roller, obviously you can do this without. You're going to walk your feet backwards so that you are now in a plank position on top of the foam roller. Foam roller is an unstable surface, therefore your core is going to be working a little bit hard to stabilize you, but I want you to engage it. So breathe in, and then as you breathe out, brace your abdominals. Imagine you're trying to pull the tummy together and suck your tummy in towards your spine at the same time. Now, you're going to hold it here for another 30 seconds. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your abdominals. Focus on getting stronger. We've got another 3 weeks of lockdown. Hooray! Not so much, but never mind. We'll make it go. There we go. And 3, 2, 1. Knees go down. Stretch yourselves out. Right now, you have the option to come off the foam roller for this if you'd like to. Otherwise, go straight back up onto your wrists. Lengthen both legs. Now, brace those abdominals. Lift your right leg up and push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now do what I call a dog leg. Pull the knee in towards the outside of the elbow and reach away. And 2. Just 4, 3, and 4. And then let's swap over feet. Left leg lengthens. 8 pushes. 1, 2. Squeeze the glute. 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring the knee in towards the outside of the left elbow this time. You can turn your body a little bit towards the knee as well. 3 and 4. Foot goes down, knees go down. Stretch yourselves out. Okay, we've got one more. With our hands on the foam roller. If your wrists have had enough, come down onto your elbows, straight onto the mat. Otherwise, so it would be like this, yeah? Otherwise, straight up onto the foam roller. Toes come up. An option, if you've had enough also, is to come down onto your knees at this stage. Lift the right leg up. We're going to push it 8 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This time, pull the knee in towards your nose, round your back a little bit and lengthen away. And 2. Really strong shoulder stabilization exercise, as well as working your core muscles. It's strong, it's hard. I'm out of breath, as you can probably hear. Pull the other leg up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull that knee in, lengthen away. 2, 3, and 4. You're done. Down on your knees, stretch out. Let's go into a little bit of a child's pose as well. Hold on to your ankles. Now, we are going to be moving into press-ups now. So I'm going to give you various options. Either a regular press-up on your hands and toes. You can use the foam roller to put your hands on. You can also get out onto your knees. Which is sort of a halfway house. So I'm going to mix the two up a bit. I'm going to put my hands on the foam roller. My shoulders are really quite tired today because I had 3 days solid decorating. It's quite strong on those shoulders. So I'm going to go onto my knees. You can be on your toes like this if you wish to. But me, I'm going to go onto my knees today. I don't want to push my body too far. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, bend your elbows. Keeping your elbows tight in towards your waist. Push up. And in between each one, we're going to have a release. So I'd like everybody to sit back onto their heels. Come back up. And 2. Push down, push up, release back. 3. Let's go on my toes, see what happens. Oh, yes. Strong. And last couple. I feel I'm working in a much better form on my knees today. So don't push it on your toes unless you can do the perfect press up. You'll get more benefit from coming on your knees, doing it on your knees, than if you're on your toes and letting your back dip or your spine arch. Just hold it there and stretch out. Okay, we're now going to ditch the foam roller a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of side plank, or side work rather. So you're going to grab the ball this time, and the ball is going to go in between your ankles. Just need to get a little bit of water. I'm going to do side push-ups. So we're going to get that waist working hard. You're going to get the ball in between your ankles and lengthen away, lie down. Now to begin with, I want your arm to be long like this. Now, hand can either be down on the floor like this or straight up towards the ceiling. Now, if you just look at my hips, what my hips are doing right now, I'm lying down, my waist is pushing down into the floor, and you should be able to see that my feet are sort of not at the same angle. My top right leg looks a bit shorter than my left. So I'm going to push that hip, my top hip, my right hip away, so my feet are now exactly in line. That's where I'd like your feet to be. You can test yourself by just placing your hand underneath your waist. You should feel a little bit of a lift underneath the waist. If the waist is still on the floor, that's fine, it doesn't matter, but you should feel that there's no pressure going down the waist underneath. Alignment is important, as we all know. Hand goes up. Now, I want you to lift both legs up and down. And 2. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. That's it, keep going. Really squeeze those thighs together. So imagine that the bottom leg is pushing the ball up. Sort of visualize that the ball is really heavy, so you engage that inner thigh muscle. That's it. Last one. Now, if you're going to put this top hand down on the floor in front of you, it's about chest height. Bend your elbows so that your ear is now cradled in your hands. And what you're going to do is you're going to lift your top half up, harder than it looks. Breathe in as you breathe out. Push up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to put the 2 together. Or 2 more. Let's do 2 more. That's it. So we're doing rounds of 8 for this. Now you're going to put the 2 together. So breathe in as you breathe out. Push up, down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and last one, 8. You're going to stay up there and push 1. Please make sure you are not pulling on your necks by this stage. The temptation is to let the upper body lean forwards. If you do that, you only end up pulling your necks and you don't end up working all this muscle here, which is what you should be feeling right now. Now we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to flip myself around. There we go. Lie myself down. Same routine. So let's get that alignment straight first of all. Feet need to be stacked one on top of the other. Adjust the ball if you need to. That hand comes up now. Waist lifted up off the floor. Up, down. 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Push 1, 2, 3, 4. Didn't do that on the other side, did I? Sorry, guys. Let's put the hand down. That was a sort of automatic thinking ahead of myself. You're going to put your hand down, let your head be supported in your elbow, upper body 8. Lift up. Oh, I have more restriction on this side. 2, 3, 4. Nobody's perfect. Sorry. 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to put the 2 together. Lift 1. Woo! 2. Again, you're not pulling on the neck. You're getting that waist to do all the work. 5, 6, 7, and 8 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release down. Good work. Okay, bend your knees, hug your knees in, grab the ball. You're going to put the ball underneath your hips now. I just need a swig of water quickly. I'm going to release out those hips before we do anything. Then we're going to do some strong abdominal work, so get ready. Okay, let's go. Ball. Lie yourself down, knees bent to begin with. Push your hips up. Now the ball is going to go directly underneath the back of your pelvis. Now, you know what I mean, I've told you a million times before, your pelvis almost like visualize it. It looks like a bit of a butterfly shape on your lower back area, on the back of the hips. Your hips should feel really solid and grounded on the ball. We're just going to release the hips out before we do anything. So tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards. This particular movement should feel like a really good release. Shouldn't be feeling any pinching. You should just feel that things, I got a nice click there. Don't worry about clicks unless they're accompanied by pain. Just clicking, and then circle the hips all the way around, releasing any tension out of that lower back. That's it. And then back around the other way. Okay, now place your hands down by your sides and just let your shoulders relax gently into the mat. Now, neutral spine alignment, you should be able to get your neutral even though your pelvis is slightly lifted. You know your body well enough by now, or at least you really should do. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, I'm going to ask you to work with your pelvic floor. So I want you to imagine that your pubic bone is pulling towards your coccyx, okay? And you're lifting internally on the out breath, and on the in breath you're going to release. So breathe in. Breathe out, squeeze, lift that pelvic floor. Bring one leg up to tabletop, and then the other leg is going to come up to meet it. That should feel quite strong. You're going to continue with your pelvic floor contractions. Breathe, squeeze on the out, release on the in, and hold it here. The legs stay here for another 8 full deep breaths. Breathing in, release. Breathe out, squeeze and lift. It's hard, I know, and breathe out, squeeze. Don't know if you can see it, but my legs are shaking. I'm having to work really hard to maintain this position. That's what you should be feeling, is a gentle shake. You should not be feeling any kind of pull in your back at all. Just pure strength here. And if you place your hands on your tummies, you should feel that that is solid. It is really strong. You're developing an awful lot of strength there, and an awful the muscle that supports the spine. As long as you're in neutral, you're working your transverse abdominis, your deepest abdominal muscle, really hard in this particular exercise. It's an isometric contraction, i.e. you're holding a position statically to work really deep into that muscle to develop your endurance muscle. I reckon you're about on breath 8 by now. I've been talking so much. There we go, hands released down. Good. Now, we're going to continue with that. Just tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards, easing off, and return your spine back into neutral. This time I want you to put your hands behind your elbows so your shoulders, so your chest is opened out. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, one leg comes up to tabletop, other leg comes up to meet it. You have an option here to keep your knees bent, otherwise you're going to straighten your legs. Breathe in, as you breathe out, lower your legs down. 2, 3, breathe in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3, in, 2, 3, that's it. Okay, this time you are going to bend your knees if they're not bent already. Flex your feet, heel bend. So neutral spine alignment, right leg drops down and up, swap, left, up, right, up, left, up. Squeeze your abdominals this time, please. I know you've released that pelvic floor. If you haven't, well done you. But get back to squeezing those abdominals. Okay, this time I want you to imagine that you're pushing a piece of heavy furniture away. Pull those knees back in and push away, back in and away, back in and away and back in. Feet go down. Release your back, release your abs. Those hip flexors just work really hard. Lift your hips up, take the ball out, pop it to one side, grab the foam roller, And the foam roller is going to go underneath your feet. Again, if you don't have a foam roller, straight shoulder bridges, you don't have to use the foam roller to do this. It's harder using the foam roller. So, shoulder bridges, relax those shoulders. No tension in shoulders, please. Just start by tilting your pelvis forwards and backwards, and then start tilting, peeling those hips and then the lower back, and then come up to the upper back onto the shoulder blades, okay? Do not come up too high. You do not want to feel that you're crunching your neck at all, and then peel back down again. Enjoy this movement. It is such an important movement to keep and maintain and encourage even mobility in your spine. Healthy spines, healthy, happy spines, healthy, happy person. And back down. That's it. We're going to do 2 more of those. Tilt, peel up. Now imagine you've got a string pulling your pelvic bone up. So let's try that sort of imagery is to try and get you to embrace your abdominals instead of using your legs. If you overuse your legs, you're going to find your hamstrings are going to be cramping rather quickly. So hips are up, please. Keep them up. Now, I'm going to bring my left leg up to tabletop first of all. Point that leg up towards the ceiling. Push your hips up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep the hips up, keep them square. If you need to use your hands to support your hips, please do so. Flex your foot, lower that foot down, point your toes, come back up. Flex, drop, point, back up. Flex, drop, point, back up. 3, flex, drop, point. Last one, flex, drop, point, and back up. That foot goes down, other foot comes up. Point that leg up towards the ceiling and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flex, drop, point. You're always thinking about trying to get length in your muscle when you're doing this. So try and reach those toes away from you as much as you can. And last time. That's it. You're going to come all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Hug your knees in towards your chest. I want you to stretch out those piriformises now. Get those hips to open out. So let's just pop your left foot on top of right knee and hug that knee in towards you. Should feel like a nice release in the hip, glutes area. I need more water. It's all this talking and working. After this, we're going to be doing the mermaid. One of my favorite exercises. It's a lovely release. Swap over legs if you haven't just done so. Followed me. So again, just take a little mental note if one side feels tighter than the other. Don't worry about it, but be aware of it and try and bring your tighter side up to your looser side. There is no point, just because your looser side feels easier, doing more with that side. The side you need to do more with is your tighter side so that you balance everything out. So your tight side matches your looser side, and then you can develop greater flexibility and mobility evenly. That's it. Okay, and then release out. Now, mermaid. In the class, it always takes a rather long time sometimes to get everybody sitting in the right position, but hopefully you guys will be exactly where you need to be. So what we call a sort of hurdler stretch. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, up and over you go. So it is a release in that rib cage, opening that rib cage out. It isn't a question of how far you can push the foam roller away. It is a question of how much mobility you can get in the spine, coming up and over, opening out that rib cage and back. Feels good. Feels nice. Number 3, up and over. And back. And this time, I'm going to rotate around. So hand goes down, rotate around, both hands go onto the foam roller and stretch out. Come back up. And then we're going to flick your legs around to do exactly the same thing on the other side. So foam roller flips around over to the other side. So hands out, light touch, up and over you go. And back. There is quite a lot of oblique side work in this class. I don't know about you, but I've been doing far too much baking. I even made bread yesterday. I haven't done that for probably about, well, 12 years. And last time. And up, but this time you get that lovely rotation in as well. So rotate around and stretch out. That's it. Good. And then come all the way back up again. Right, foam rollers to one side. Going to grab the ball again. And you're going to kneel up. Right, so what are we going to do? Ball is in front of you. Roll your shoulders, make sure they're soft and loose, elbows bent. I'm going to do a knee stretch, so bend, breathe in. If I go side on, you can probably see me a little bit better. Spine stays in neutral as you hinge back. You feel that pull of the quad muscles, the muscles here in front of you, and come back up again. Breathe in as you breathe out, down you go. Oi. Pull back up. And again. Pull back up. And again. And back up. Right, I'm just going to turn around because I need mat on both sides now. You're going to open out, ball is in your right hand. You're going to lengthen your right leg away, please. Try and keep those hips square as much as you can. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, over you go. Leg lifts up, reaching, stretching, and the leg starts pushing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Toe taps, so to the front, up, lift, to the back, up, to the front, and then to the back, but really get a stretch in that hip as you do that. Okay. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So open your arms out. Left leg reaches away. Make sure you're square, i.e. you're not lifting that left hip up at all, or as reduced amount as much as possible. Tip over, like an aeroplane. Lift your foot up. See if you can balance a little bit. Wobble. Got it. And then down. And then push up. 1, 2. Look up towards the ball. 4. Make sure the ball is in line with your hand underneath. And then circle, so semicircle. So you tap your toes down in front of the mat, lift them up and behind. Up to the front, up to the back. That's it. Now, this time, we're going to continue with a little bit of side work. You're going to come down onto your elbow this time. So down onto the right elbow, ball is again on your left hand. I'm going to come up onto my feet. The option is to come up onto your knee angle like that. Very important to make sure the shoulder joint is directly over the elbow, please. Otherwise you'll end up pushing too hard. Right, now what I want you to do is to reach the ball up above your head as much as possible and then hover the other foot off the floor. So you're in a side plank, but your foot is off the floor. And all we're going to do is pull the elbow in towards the knee. So the ball meets the knee and then lengthen away. Ball meets the knee. And 3 and 4. This time foot goes down. Reach up and over. See if you can get that ball towards the floor, not necessarily touching it. And then as you come down, your hips release down towards the floor. Up and over and back. Up and over and back. Up and over and back. Last time. Up and over and back. Hand up. Let's get some rotation going. Under and open and under and open. Just 2. It's quite enough of that. So this is going to be the longest class in history if I'm not careful. So you're going to come over and do exactly the same on the other side. So again, options to be on the knee or onto both feet. You're going to bring the arm up, that's it, and push up. Hover one foot up. There we go. And you're going to stretch out before we begin. Pull in, release out. Pull in, release out. And 3 and 4. That's it. That foot goes down in front of the other foot. And this time you're stretching up, arching up and over, and then hip drops down. Up, over, hip drops down. If this is getting too strong for anybody, please stop and reset. Never, ever force a movement, only ever work within your own personal limits. Couple of rotations underneath. Come back, open out, and under, back, open out, release down, release down. Swing the legs around. I need a bit more water. You're going to set yourselves up, ready for your roll-ups. We're going to use the ball though. So make sure you have it in your hands, please. Sitting up tall. Let's get length in the spine before you tilt your pelvis. So you feel coming off your coccyx, rolling off your sit bones onto the base of your spine. Make sure your shoulders stay permanently away from your ears. Just a little bit of a baby roll up to begin with. Make sure that back is just nice and loose before we do a full roll up. Down and then back up. So a little bit of strong abdominal work. Down. This time we're going to do a full roll up. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. Breathe in. As you breathe out, hands come back over. Now this is the bit where you must not pull through your neck. You must not pull through your shoulders. Your abdominals should be doing all of that work. Breathe in. As you breathe out, peel down. Hands over. Breathe in. As you breathe out, hands come back over. And peel up. Nice. And 3. And back up. Now, this time let's get those obliques engaged. So I want you to rotate around, down, come back up to the center, rotate, down, back up to the center, rotate, down, back up. So you'll feel a point where your feet want to lift up off the floor. That's the point where you need to stop and then come back up. And then we're going to get a little, so now we're going to do a bit more obliques. Imagine you're pulling on a bow and arrow. So go down, looking towards that bow and arrow, the elbow, and stick with that side. 2, back up, and 3, back up, last one, 4, and back up. And then the other side, down, back up, and 2, back up, 2 more, that's it. Okay, you're going to place the ball behind you. So about your bra line, sort of mid-thoracic spine is going to land on it. So roll your shoulders, tilt, peel down, back, lands on the ball, over you go. Now enjoy that release. You might want to wiggle a little bit just so that you get the ball in the best possible position for your back. I know some people find this position restrictive. That's because your back is tight. Do you know that? Trying to get movement, openness in the chest. Lets the lungs breathe. It's so important to get that chest open to allow the lungs to fire up and work and get maximum amount of oxygen in your body, particularly important at the moment. Just enjoy that stretch. I could stay here all day, but I can't, sadly. I've got to come back up again. Breathe in. As you breathe out, hands come back up. And this time we're going to peel yourselves up. Keep those legs straight and reach over towards your toes. So you're going to stretch all the way down the back of those hamstrings as well. Sit up tall. Peel down. Hands go over. Nice. Good. Back up. And over you go. And again. Last time down. Over. Good. And up. And release over. Now, I want you to stay there for a moment. We're actually going to use this time right here, right now, to stretch out the backs of those legs. So you can either, if you can get hold of your feet, brilliant. But if you can't, just pulling your toes up towards your nose and releasing down, you should feel a stretch down the back of those legs. Enjoy that stretch. You can get rid of the ball. That's it. That's good. We're getting there. A little bit more back work, and then we are going to be done. Breathe in, and then as you breathe out, just pull yourselves a little bit closer towards your legs. Getting a deeper stretch, deeper pull. Okay, release. Now, back release. One of my favourite things to do of all time is a back release with a foam roller. So, lie yourself down. If you haven't got the foam roller, I'd advise you just to continue to stretch out those legs. But you're going to lift your hips up and just roll forwards and backwards. Another thing you can do if you haven't got a foam roller, we're going to be doing it at the end of the class anyway, is a cat and a cow stretch. You come to my classes, you should know what that is. You're on your hands and knees, and you basically push your head up, push your spine up towards the ceiling, head comes up, and then release down in the opposite direction. Now, work deeply into whichever area you feel you have tension. For me, it tends to be my right shoulder. It's an old injury, big crunch just happened just then. I'm not worried about that. That's just all that muscle releasing out. There we go, keep going. But make sure you do check in with your body and feel where you have got tension, and take some time to release the tension out. You'll function better. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you haven't got tension in your body, you will perform better. Guarantee it. That's it. Nice. Should feel good. Okay. Last little bit. You're going to roll over onto your fronts. Hands on the foam roller. If you haven't got a foam roller, you can still do this without the foam roller. I'm just going to use your hands to push up. So I want your hands, wrists facing outwards. Head goes down. Just retract your shoulders. So imagine you're trying to pull your shoulders away from your ears and then release back up. Please be mindful that you don't bend your elbows at this stage. Your head should be released down onto the floor. My head is up so you can hear my voice, otherwise I'm just talking to the floor. But your head should have been there. Okay, release down and push back. Keep going. Now, you're going to pull the foam roller towards you and then start lifting up and rotate your hands as you go, making sure that you keep your shoulders well away from your ears, and then back down again. And go again, pull. Rotate the hands, palms facing inwards, come up and then down. That's it. Last one, pull. Rotate, come up. Now this time when you go down, keep your palms so they're facing each other, please. What I'd like you to do is to lift your feet, your knees and then your thighs up off the floor. And then bring your hands, lifting your chest up as much as you can, and start beating opposite arm and opposite leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4. Good work. Release down, release down. Hands go down. And now we are going to do a cat and a cow stretch. So hands directly underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Push your spine all the way up, head drops, tailbone under. That should feel good after the exercise you've just done. And then release out, tailbone out, head comes up. And go again, pushing up and down and up and down. And then wag your tailbone through one side and the other side. One side and the other side. That's it. And then sit back onto your heels. You need to have your arms stretched out in front of you. Knees can go apart a little bit so that your chest can fall down in between your knees, and just hold that child's pose or stretching. It's a yoga position really, but it's a lovely stretch. Breathe in as you breathe out. Just let your body relax and release. You're literally going to relax and release now anyway. That's it. Now, one muscle group that we need to stretch out are your hip flexors. So come up, let's just put your left leg forwards and stretch down. You can stay like this, or you can bring your right arm up and go over. But really feel that stretch in the hip flexors, so in the front of the right hip. Different people will feel that they need to be in different positions in order to get the full benefit of this stretch. Some people will need to be up on their toes to get that stretch. Other people get it like this. But if you lean your body backwards a little bit, you should feel that stretch a little bit deeper. And again, if you wanted to go over to your left-hand side, that's it. And then come back. And then we're going to go over onto the other side. My hair's gone all disheveled, apologise, and stretching out those hip flexors. You're going to need the ball again one more time for a neck release. Favourite bit of most of my classes. That's it. Once the stretch is eased out, that's when you need to just push yourself a little bit further. When I say push, I mean gently ease yourself into a deeper stretch. Never force a stretch. Never force any movement for that matter. Over. Big stretch. Nice. And release. Okay. Then you're going to get the ball. You're going to lie down. And you're going to release out your necks. I'm going to put my feet on top of the foam roller. Having your feet slightly elevated will assist in the sort of relaxation process. So lie down, take my hairband out so it doesn't get in the way of the ball. Now it's your skull that needs to be on the ball. Please make sure the ball is not on your neck at all. Make sure your hair isn't going to get caught if you've got long hair. There's some interesting hairstyles around, I guess, at the moment. Now, once you've found your relaxation point, I just want you to switch off. All of your muscles need to switch off. If your hands are up here, if they're across your body like this, if they're down by your side, they're out wide, it doesn't really matter. But focus on your breathing and just imagine that your body is sinking into the most comfortable mattress you have ever slept on in your entire life. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep going, breathe in and out. Okay, now I want your arms to go out wider this time, please, and your feet need to be coming in a little bit. So either feet on the floor or on top of the foam roller. Breathe in and let your knees drop over to your left. Keep your feet stacked on top of each other and look towards your right. That's it. And then come up and over to the other side. One more on each side before we're gently going to bring ourselves back up to standing. And then up. Oh, washed my hair. So the ball is sliding all over the place. That's not right. And then back. That's it. Let's take the ball out. Just reach and stretch as if you're on a medieval rack. Your legs are being pulled and pull through one side and then through the other side as if you're sort of shaping your body like a Nana somehow. That's it. Hands come down by your sides and you're going to go over onto your all fours. So come over you go. Come back onto your all fours. We're going to basically get ourselves back up to standing gently. One last cat and a cow stretch. Make sure the foam roller isn't behind you so you don't stand yourself and slip over at the very end. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Now gently start straightening your legs. Let your head fall. That's it. Oh, good. Release your hands off the floor if they're not already off the floor. Interlock your arms, so hands on elbows, and just rock your body through one side and the other side, one side and the other side. Hands release back down, and ever so slowly you peel yourself back up to standing. Up, 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 up. When you're up there, roll your shoulders. Congratulate yourself on getting through a strong class. Hope you enjoyed it. If there is anything that anybody else would like to see online, I'll come down here so you can see me, then please just ping me a message, let me know. But yeah, with any luck, I'll see you back in here in May sometime. I can't believe it, but it will be May at least by the time I get you all back in here. Anyway, take care, stay healthy, and hope to speak to you soon. Bye.